While searching for my earring in my husband Jason's car, I discovered a locked collar hidden deep beneath the driver's seat. I didn't scream or confront him. Simply flushed the key down the toilet. The next day, he made headlines along with a telephone pole. The moment I saw that stainless steel collar, my blood ran cold. Thicker than regular pet collars. It had welded locks on both ends of the heavy chain. But we don't own a dog. Jason's been terrified of canines ever since being bitten as a child. He shudders at the mere sight of them. What sane person would put this in their vehicle? My hands trembled as I used image search on my phone. The results nearly made me drop the device. This was a custom-designed human restraint collar. Jason? Impossible. After 7 years of marriage and raising our 5-year-old. I know him better than anyone. This is the man who blushes and stammers when suggesting new positions. How could he be involved with such perversions? The dashcam showed memory card full with the last footage from 3 months ago. Jason driving our son to kindergarten. Men and their carelessness with technology. I enabled loop recording in cloud sync to my phone before replacing the collar exactly as found. Back home. Jason emerged sleepily. Where were you so early? Honey? Dropped our son at your mom's. I answered casually while removing shoes. How? His sudden shout startled me. With the car? Obviously. Should we have waited for cabs at dawn? The panic in his eyes answered everything. Jason heard this. His face instantly pale. Voice thick with suppressed displeasure. Honey. Why did you touch my car? You didn't even tell me beforehand? A surge of anger flared up in my chest. Today was supposed to be our rare weekend. I'd planned to sleep in. But before dawn, my mother-in-law called claiming she couldn't eat from missing her grandson, demanding I bring him over immediately. Jason was sleeping like a log beside me. Having worked overtime past midnight again, I couldn't bear to wake him. Alone. I dressed our drowsy child, packed his school bag, and rushed out without even drinking water. Now this interrogation the moment I returned? Unbearable. My entire body shook with rage. Jason. Should I file a formal request next time? You came home at 3 a.m. yesterday. I wanted you to rest. Is that a crime now? He seemed to realize his overreaction, hastily reaching to embrace me. Honey. That's not what I meant. His eyes darted to the car keys I'd tossed on the entryway table. I just worry, you rarely drive. The roads can be dangerous with the baby. I shrugged off his arm. He clasped his hands in mock prayer. Puppy dog eyes pleading. Forgive me? I was half asleep, my anger dissolved despite myself. Not worth fighting, bigger questions loomed. As I opened my mouth to ask about the collar, he blurted, You didn't touch anything else in my car, right? My stomach dropped. Jason, hiding something? I locked eyes with him. No. What? His lashes fluttered nervously. Left thumb rubbing his index finger, his tell. Ha ha. You're hilarious. The laugh rang hollow. Just, important work files. Glad they're safe. I maintained eye contact. Beads of sweat appeared on his forehead. Suddenly he nuzzled my neck. Warm breath tickling my ear. Honey, his hand crept toward my waist. With the kid gone, maybe we could. Every muscle in my body tensed. Since our son was born, intimacy between us had dwindled. For 6 months. Whenever I tried to initiate closeness, Jason would either claim exhaustion from overtime work or pretend to be asleep. Our last attempt was half a year ago when I threatened divorce, forcing his reluctant participation that ended abruptly. To preserve his dignity, I stopped initiating altogether. Now his palm rested on my waist. Yet discomfort prickled my skin. I finally pushed him away. Just dropped off the kids. Tired. Maybe later. Jason almost immediately backed away. The faintest relaxation visible around his mouth. I'll catch up on sleep. Exhausted. The bedroom door clicked shut as I heard his relieved sigh. 30 minutes later. Rhythmic snoring drifted from the room. My gaze fixed on his phone abandoned on the coffee table. To check or not? The question coiled venomously in my chest. In 7 years of marriage, I'd never invaded Jason's privacy. He'd always left his phone carelessly around. Lock screen perpetually set to my birthday. This unguarded trust had been my pride. Now I was about to shatter it. The screen illuminated painfully bright. Scrolling through recent messages revealed nothing suspicious, no hotel bookings. No questionable chats. Was I imagining things? Then why his strange behavior earlier? After agonizing deliberation, I installed the syncing app my best friend swore by, expensive custom software tracking real-time messages and locations. She'd recommended it months ago when suspecting her playboy husband. Though I'd scoffed then. Jason didn't even add female coworkers on socials. How ironic I'd eat those words now. Midnight found me staring at the ceiling, hyper-aware of Jason's uncharacteristically silent form beside me. Sudden blue light pierced the darkness. Squinting, I watched him dress stealthily and slip out. Grabbing my phone, I checked the monitoring app. A synced message glowed. Frowny face Jason. There's an emergency with the project. Please return to the office immediately. Sender, Lynn. Corporate matters. Nothing suspicious. Maybe I'd overreacted after all? But the nagging unease in my heart made me follow anyway. 20 minutes later, Jason's car pulled up in front of the office building. I was about to sigh in relief and head home when I saw Jason step out of the driver's seat holding that dog collar, its metallic sheen glaring under the streetlight. After glancing around, Jason hurried toward the public restroom at the corner. I trailed behind, hiding in the shadows near the entrance. About 10 minutes passed before someone emerged. A masked woman in a leather catsuit walked out with a dog on a leash. My blood ran cold. That wasn't a dog. That was my husband Jason, wearing the collar with drunken ecstasy plastered across his face. The woman leaned down to pat his head. Jason eagerly nuzzled her stiletto, the chain clinking loudly in the dead silence. I could hear every word. Such a bold little mutt tonight. Huh? Risking exposure near your office? Her giggle sliced through the air. Jason writhed, panting. The surveillance cameras, they're broken. Take off my mask. She purred. Let my filthy dog see his queen's face. As she hooked a blood-red fingernail under her mask. My legs buckled. Lynn, our son's preschool teacher. No wonder Jason insisted on handling school drop-offs despite his busy schedule. I'd thought he was being thoughtful. How naive. Lynn tightened the chain around Jason's neck, leaving angry welts. Doesn't Mrs. Wilson ever satisfy you, Jay? That frigid hag makes me sick. Jason groaned, face contorted. Couldn't get it up for her if I tried. She pressed her shoe under his chin. Then why stay married? Bile rose in my throat. I clutched my mouth, trembling as their twisted game unfolded, my husband crawling on concrete. Lynn's laughter echoing off office windows where Jason's employees would arrive in mere hours. The man who lectured our son about integrity now licked boot leather while whimpering about alimony fears. Every gasp, every degrading plea burned into my skull. When Lynn finally led her pet back to the car, I stayed frozen long after their taillights vanished. The parking lot security camera above me blinked red, fully operational despite Jason's lie, capturing every second of my unraveling. She takes care of the kids. Serves my mom. Works as a free live-in nanny. At least she's somewhat useful. Ha, what about me? You're my queen, Jason murmured drunkenly, pressing his face against her stiletto. Lynn kicked him hard in the butt. Disgusting, such a natural-born filthy mutt. Jason looked up with glittering eyes. Punish this naughty dog, woof, woof. Watching their retreating figures, I finally lost control. I rushed into the public restroom and vomited violently, splashing cold water on my face. I saw bloodshot eyes staring back from the mirror, terrifying in the midnight bathroom glow. But this world holds horrors worse than ghosts. Like human hearts. Taking deep breaths, I methodically searched every corner. Inside the janitor's bucket, I found a black bag containing Jason's clothes and 2 silver keys. So eager to be a dog? Let me help. I flushed the keys down the toilet. Only after watching them disappear did I leave with the clothes. The pair kept dodging security patrols while openly parading down the street. Jason seemed thrilled, barking intermittently. 1 hour later, they finally headed back. Though exhilarated, Jason clearly wanted more. He suddenly lifted his leg against a utility pole near the office, urinating shamelessly. Lynn giggled hysterically, chaining the leash end to the pole. Wait here, filthy mutt. I'll get the keys. Jason panted with crazed delight, tongue lolling. I couldn't help smiling. Enjoy your laughter while it lasts. 10 minutes later, Lynn came scrambling from the restroom, panic-stricken. Jason! They're gone! The clothes and keys! Jason turned deathly pale, trembling violently, not from excitement this time. Impossible! Check again! You must have missed them. Lynn stomped her feet in frustration. I've looked everywhere. Even lifted the toilet seat. Damn it! Who took the stuff? Jason strained against the iron chain around his neck, his voice cracking with panic. What now? We can't open this without the key. Think of something quick. The pair paced anxiously while I casually adjusted my phone zoom. This cutting-edge phone was no joke, even their sweaty foreheads, trembling fingers, and the red marks on Jason's neck showed up crystal clear at maximum magnification. I casually dropped a location pin and keywords in the gossip forum. After 10 futile minutes of struggle, the chain remained intact. Lynn gritted her teeth, scooping up a nearby rock. Jason, bear with me. I'll smash this lock open. The utility pole's bulk forced Jason's head flush against its surface due to the chain's limited length. Watch your aim, Jason yelped, eyeing the rock nervously. Don't hit the carotid. Lynn took dramatic aim and flinched at the last second. The rock connected with Jason's skull. You psycho. Blood trickled down Jason's face as he howled. Lynn retorted indignantly, how else would the lock break? Want me to stop? She fake-stomped away. Wait! Jason's desperate wail froze her. Just aim better this time. Lynn's eyes bulged comically as she reared back for another swing. What the hell are you doing? The sudden shout made Lynn fumble the rock directly onto Jason's other temple. His blood-curdling scream echoed as Lynn bolted, leaving Jason howling, at least leave me some clothes. A crumpled face mask fluttered to the ground where Lynn had stood. For a split second, Jason couldn't decide which part of himself to cover first. The night guard came jogging over, only to freeze like he'd been struck by lightning when he saw the scene by the lamppost. He rubbed his eyes violently, certain this had to be a hallucination. Jason? The guard stammered, voice cracking with disbelief. Jason suddenly remembered where his mask should go. Fumbling with the face covering, he desperately cupped his groin with his free hand. You've got the wrong guy. I'm not who you think. The guard, a salt of the earth type, yanked the mask off Jason's face and stuffed it in his own pocket. Sir, I salute you every morning at the gate. How could I mistake that jawline? His weathered face scrunched in confusion. But, Jason, what in God's name? Suddenly the guard smacked his forehead. You crossed someone, didn't ya? Got set up real good? Jason nodded frantically, the chains around his waist clanking. Yes. Now get these damn locks off me. The guard circled the lamppost, whistling low. Holy moly. They trussed you up like a Christmas ham. This looks serious. Sir. Better call the cops. He reached for his radio. No. Jason's voice cracked, sweat dripping like raindrops. I'll pay. 10 grand. 20. Just keep quiet. The guard's eyes lit up like slot machines. You got yourself a deal, boss. As the guard left, Jason barely had time to breathe before hearing excited shrieks approaching. God damn it. Why's the whole town awake? He hissed, pressing his face against the cold metal pole as camera flashes erupted. OMG guys. Actual live drama. Screamed a teenage girl aiming her phone. Midnight lamppost kink session. Gift spamming time. 10K viewers want to see your face. Mister. When the guard returned with bolt cutters, he found a paparazzi mob complete with stepladders. The commotion brought police and firefighters, who finally freed the scarlet-faced executive. By dawn, the viral video of Jason's metal pole mishap was leading every news broadcast. Just when I thought Jason was about to face utter disgrace, events took an unexpected turn. In the hospital room, Jason lay propped on his bed with bandages around his forehead, his complexion ghostly pale, facing the camera with bloodshot eyes. His voice trembled. I truly don't know who I've offended. I went to retrieve documents from the office, but someone struck me from behind before I even entered. The assailant, he paused dramatically, as if swallowing humiliation. When I woke up, I was all ready. The security cameras nearby were conveniently malfunctioning. Police say evidence collection will be difficult. A bitter smile crept across his face as he shook his head. But I won't pursue this. Maybe it was a momentary lapse. I can't let this affect my family. At the mention of family, tears suddenly streamed down his cheeks. Wiping his eyes, he bowed deeply to the camera. Mock me if you must. But please, my wife and child are innocent. My company bears no responsibility. The tearful interview went viral instantly. #WeLoveJason trended at #1 nationwide. Flooded comments included, I'm sobbing, that plea to protect his family shattered me. A real man. College classmate here, Jason's always been family-oriented. Definitely framed. The timing with broken cameras? Chilling. Whose interests did he threaten? A passerby's thought, if this was retaliation, why not press charges? Dropping it feels suspicious. This last comment quickly drowned in the tidal wave of support. Capitalizing on the momentum, Jason's company announced, in light of Mr. Wilson's ordeal, we grant him 1 month's paid leave while enhancing campus security. Below the statement gleamed photos of Jason's past Employee of the Year awards. Jason seized the spotlight by launching a personal vlog. His debut video showed him weakly upright in bed, discussing surviving cyberbullying with fragile determination. Likes surpassed 1 million within hours. The comments section a sea of heart emojis and cheering messages. I snapped my phone shut. Sneering. The irony stung, a cheating husband now beloved as a victim. Yet this served my purpose. Since our son's birth, Jason had pressured me into becoming a stay-at-home mom. Without stable income, securing custody would be difficult. I needed time to strategize. Let the charade continue. The higher they rise. True to form, Jason forgot caution the moment his neck wound scabbed over. Barely 2 weeks post-attack. My monitoring app pinged with fresh messages between him and Lynn. Miss you desperately. Baby. Need your touch. Aren't you scared your wife will notice? She's nursing you 24/7. That cow? Ha. She's too busy weeping over my injuries to suspect anything. You're wicked. Meet me tomorrow after dropping Noah at school. The faculty parking lot. Jason, suddenly an internet darling. They were too scared to get a hotel room, so they had to sneak around in the car. Just imagining how our son had barely stepped into school when Jason immediately got trained by Lynn in the backseat made me nauseous. Even after Lynn's car tutorial, Jason still looked unsatisfied. He whispered something in Lynn's ear that made her gasp. That's too extreme. What if we get caught? Jason's face flushed with excitement. Relax. I did my research. It's an abandoned factory, no people. No cameras. Lynn hesitated. This feels too twisted. Weren't you eyeing that Birkin? I'll buy it afterward. Lynn's eyes lit up. Oh darling, don't expect me to go easy on you then. I stifled a laugh hearing their agreement. Finally, after all this time, the trap would spring. 2 days later at dawn, Jason crept out of bed. Where are you going so early? I feigned sleepiness. Fishing trip with Dave, he said, back turned as he dressed. Spotty cell service at the reservoir. I watched from the bathroom mirror later, perfecting my trembling lips and bloodshot eyes, details I'd rehearsed endlessly. Officer! Help! I burst into the police station barefoot, shoving my phone forward. The dashcam footage showed Jason trussed like a mummy in the trunk, while Lynn's black leather jacket and face mask screamed criminal from the driver's seat. Tears spilled on cue. He's not answering. Last month someone attacked him at work. What if it's the same person? My grip tightened on the cop's sleeve. Our baby needs his father. The video of Jason's purple face and Lynn's suspicious outfit made the officers snap into action. Sirens pierced the morning air as I smiled behind my trembling hands. I sat in the back of the police car, watching the scenery whizzing past the window. The illicit lovers' phones were still powered off. They must be having too much fun to care about anything else by now, right? The thought made me tighten my grip on my phone. Almost there, just a little longer. At the Jiaoshan scrap metal factory, officers burst through the door to find Jason completely naked, tied to a rusted steel column. Clearly, he developed quite an affinity for that pillar. Lynn stood holding a leather whip high. Crack! A fresh red welt appeared on his skin. Freeze! Police! Lynn jumped, the whip clattering to the floor. 2 officers immediately pinned her down. When Jason saw me, his eyes nearly bulged out of their sockets. The stocking gagging him reduced his protests to muffled grunts. Honey! I shrieked, throwing myself at him. Don't worry. I'm here to save you. My fingernails accidentally dug into one of his wounds, making him hiss in pain. Whirling toward the restrained woman, I gasped dramatically. MS. Peter? How could it be you? You kidnapped my husband? Not kidnapping. Lynn shook her head frantically. He begged for this. Ask him yourself. I turned to Jason with horrified eyes. You did this voluntarily? His head shook reflexively. See, officer? I wailed like a recent widow. My husband says it wasn't consensual. What's the sentence for kidnapping? 10 years minimum? Arrest her now. Lynn panicked, screaming, No. I didn't. Jason. Say something. She struggled against the officer's grip. Turning back to my husband, I whispered tearfully, Honey? Is this true? Jason averted his eyes and nodded guiltily. I glared triumphantly at Lynn. See? My husband confirms everything. Jason's gagged protests grew louder. With a sigh, an officer removed the stocking from Jason's mouth. Care to explain? It's not kidnapping, I volunteered. His voice faded to a whisper. What? I staggered back theatrically. You're telling me you willingly let our son's preschool teacher tie you up here? Strip you naked? Whip you? The officers exchanged knowing looks. Jason flushed crimson. Must you announce it to the world? It's embarrassing enough. My scream could shatter glass. Divorce. I want a divorce. I was absolutely furious. What woman could stay rational after catching her husband cheating? Seizing the moment when the officers were distracted, I grabbed the leather whip from the floor and lashed at him. Crack! 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 I deliberately aimed at his most vulnerable areas. Within moments, his skin turned purple and swollen like an eggplant. The police rushed to intervene. Overwhelmed with rage, my vision darkened and I collapsed, plunging the scene into chaos. After being lectured by the police, both parties agreed to resolve it as a domestic dispute. Though Jason's injuries required 3 months of bed rest with a catheter, he never blamed me. Instead, he knelt before me begging forgiveness. "Honey, I was wrong. I swear I've learned my lesson," he sobbed, clutching my pant leg. "It was just momentary weakness. I never cared about her. You and our son are my whole world." I remained unmoved, tossing the pre-prepared divorce papers in his face. "Sign it. I get full custody and all assets. You leave with nothing." "Never. I'll die before divorcing you." I flashed my phone, revealing security footage from the warehouse. "Sure about that? Should I make this go viral?" Hashtag leaked footage of company executive and preschool teacher. Hashtag catchy headline. No. Jason ultimately relented. Negotiating revised terms, I kept custody while he retained the house. Splitting our savings equally. This suited me perfectly. Over the past month, I'd quietly transferred joint account funds into an educational annuity insurance for our son, inaccessible until his 18th birthday. Jason exploded upon discovering the drained accounts, but cooled down upon learning the money was for our child. He'll never know about the substantial income I've earned through my self-media ventures this year. Savings originally meant as his birthday surprise now became my safety net. As for the house, let him keep the mortgage he's been paying. I'd already secured what truly mattered. On the sunny morning our mandatory cooling-off period ended, we exited the Civil Affairs Bureau in tense silence. Suddenly, Lynn's shrill voice blasted from Jason's phone. "Jason, our video leaked online. I lost my job. The whole world's seen it. You swore on our son's life you deleted it." Jason whirled around, glaring. I smiled serenely. "I did delete that one. Sent them a different clip instead." His stunned expression was priceless. I flagged down a taxi and told the driver to check trending topics. Through the rearview mirror, Jason glanced at his phone before charging at us, pounding frantically on the window. "Zoe! You bitch! Get out here!" The cabbie executed a perfect fishtail turn, sending him sprawling into the gutter. "Scumbag!" The driver spat. "I drive divorcees every day. Seen it all." Smiling, I opened Twitter. The top trending tag blazed hashtag corporate execs light pole gate exposed. The full surveillance footage of Jason being chained to that utility pole finally went public. Comments exploded. "Holy shit! Oscar owes Jason a golden statue for that performance. Knew something was fishy. That custom-sized collar? Best plot twist ever. Replica collars now on Amazon. Search hashtag LynSpuppy for 10% off." I shut off my phone, exhaling deeply. That footage had burned in my archives for months. Jason's calls flooded in until I blocked him entirely. His company moved faster. Their official statement dropped by sunset. Effective immediately. Mr. Jason is relieved of all duties per emergency board resolution. Let him keep the house. With his reputation tanked, mortgage payments would drown him anyway. Besides, I'd left surprises. Through weeks of surveillance, I'd discovered Jason's car obsession. His precious sedan held everything: flirtations with Lynn, shady client deals, even scheming with his mother to hide assets. The dashcam archive revealed it all. Most enlightening? The Wilson family's gold bar hoard stashed behind his study's hideous oil painting. While Jason and Lynn were otherwise occupied, I'd liberated the treasure. Current gold prices valued my haul around $2 million. Suddenly, his complaints about tight company budgets limiting me to $700 monthly made sense. He'd been saving up for this grand gesture. The gold now gleamed in my safe deposit box. I wondered when Jason would notice. As for the lovebirds, post-termination and globally humiliated, Lynn and Jason holed up together. On day 3 of their cohabitation, the doorbell rang. Jason assumed it was Uber Eats. 3 linebackers shoved past him the moment he opened the door. The tattooed leader plopped onto the living room sofa, glaring down at Jason. "You're Jason?" Jason's pent-up rage erupted. "Who the fuck are you? Breaking and entering? I'm calling the cops." The tattooed man barked laughter, clapping twice. Two brutes rushed forward, slamming Jason face first into the floorboards. What's all the noise? Lynn emerged, rubbing sleep from her eyes. Then froze. Dave. Jason strained to look up. You know him? Dave ground his boot into Jason's spine. I'm her legally wedded husband. Enjoying your little affair? His mocking hum hung in the air as he stepped back. The thugs immediately began kicking Jason's ribs. Stop. Please. Jason curled into fetal position, howls echoing through the apartment. Lynn tried fleeing, but Dave grabbed her hair, delivering a dozen brutal slaps that split her lip. Whoring around while I did time? He spat in her face. Electric pole hookups now? Real classy. The goons redoubled their efforts, targeting Jason's kidneys. Harder. Ruin that pretty boy, Dave commanded, watching dispassionately. When Jason's screams weakened, he crouched to slap the battered face. You fucked my wife, time to pay the toll. Just give him the money. Lynn sobbed. He's killed before. Dave crushed Jason's fingers under his boot. Hear that? Pay up. I will. I swear. Jason blubbered through bloody teeth. Think I'm stupid? Dave snorted. We're going together. Jason's eyes flashed defiance. Kill me then. You'll get nothing. Brave words. Dave stepped aside. 10 minutes or you both take the window express. Limping into the study, Jason locked the door. His trembling hands removed a painting, dialed the safe combination. The spring-loaded door opened with a click. His anguished wail brought pounding fists against wood. Quit yowling in there, Dave roared. Jason stared at the empty safe. Life savings gone. The pounding intensified. Open this fucking door. Cold realization settled, someone had beaten them all. He took 2 steps back and kicked the door down with a flying stomp. The 3 men rushed into the study to find Jason slumped before the safe, his face deathly pale. You fucking with me? Where's the money? Dave grabbed Jason by the collar and yanked him up. Jason suddenly began screaming hysterically. My money's been stolen. I'm calling the police. Call this. Dave's temple veins bulged. Boys. Beat him to death. At Dave's command, the enforcers pounced. Fists rained down like hailstones. Jason's initial screams dwindled to faint whimpers. Boss. Something's wrong, one enforcer paused to check Jason's pulse. This bastard's fading. Dave cursed and signaled them to stop. The trio quickly looted cash, phones, and valuables before leaving. Yet Dave couldn't resist giving Lynn another beating on their way out. The moment they opened the door, police gun barrels greeted them. Freeze! Police! It was my call. Though watching Jason get pummeled on surveillance felt satisfying. We were once married. I couldn't just let them kill him. Maybe I got too engrossed. My 911 call came, slightly delayed. In the interrogation room, Dave sang like a canary. He was Lynn's husband, recently released after serving time for aggravated assault. His first post-prison act? Trying to contact Lynn, only to find himself blocked everywhere. While combing the city for her, his phone buzzed with a viral video notification, frowny face executive and preschool teacher's private footage. The comment section had already doxed their home address. Not that I posted that comment. I simply had spare cash to boost interesting videos. Blame the algorithm, a few bucks ensures precise targeting. When Jason's death notice came, I was building blocks with my son. His injuries proved too severe, he flatlined before reaching ER. Lynn survived but with a shattered pelvis. Now wheelchair-bound for life. The real drama came from my ex-mother-in-law. Upon hearing of her son's death, she stormed into the hospital and started bludgeoning Lynn with an 4-pole. Mid-assault, she suffered a hypertensive stroke and became paralyzed. As for Dave, slam dunk conviction for intentional homicide. Minimum 15 years. My son, as Jason's sole legal heir, ended up inheriting that house after all.